Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me. And today I am going to be going over my planner review where I am sharing some of the planners that I have personally used and why I like them or didn't like them. And maybe that's something that can help you out as you plan to get your next planner for 2019. So hang on and let's get started. I wanted to share with you my thoughts on some particular planners that I have. So, first things first, I have two books that I really recommend in the scope of time management and really knowing how you're best spending your time. And again, not being busy, but being productive and doing the things that you really feel are leading to greater growth and greater outcomes in your life by some of the goals that you've set. So one of the first books is The Best Yes by Lisa TerKeurst. This is really good because she is totally the tagline is making wise decisions in the midst of endless demands. And her whole thing is to help women who are just consistently feeling overwhelmed and kind of on that verge of burnout, right? Because their schedules are so demanding. And so she kind of does the same thing, that we've walked through over the past couple of weeks of what is the priority and where do you want to be? Where do you want to be spending your time? What feels the most valuable to you? And knowing that things that you are saying yes to, it basically becomes a no to something else. And so even though you're saying yes to everything, there is something that you are saying not now to. And so what we're focused on is the fact that we've basically said not now to our health. And so we're trying to make changes, shift the mindset so that the health becomes much more of a priority rather than all of these other little busy, nuancy tasks that we're taking on that aren't necessarily serving us in the most positive manner. So that's definitely a good read. The other one is Make It Happen. So Laura Casey is the author, and I really like her. It's not her book isn't necessarily kind of a how to manage your time. It's much more of how to live your life on purpose. And that's her tagline: surrender your fear, take the leap, live on purpose. I love, love, love this book because she really does dive into those fears that get into our head that basically hold us back from some of the very big goals that we have, the things that we feel we are being called to, that stirring within us, what's holding us back. And part of it is that we're simply just not planning and allowing for the space. We talked about the margin, creating the margin, and we're not allowing ourselves to have that. And it just keeps us in this chronic mindset of fear and feeling like, well, I just can't do that because I don't have the time, because I don't have the resources, because I just don't know what the next steps are. And so she really helps break it down. She also is the creator of Cultivate Your Life, and they have something called Power Sheets. And I've never used the Power Sheets, but basically Power Sheets are a goal planning system. So it's really in depth. It's for the entire year. I think there's a digital version and there's also a paper version. I've never used them. However, I am ordering them this week because I want to be much more intentional with my goal setting and making sure that I have a plan every month to get me closer to the goals that I have. So I split up goals, especially, within a business. I have specific goals for each quarter, but it's not enough. When we talked about this, it's not enough to just put it down. It's that pie in the sky goal. There has to be a process of steps to get you from A to Z. So getting, that goal on paper or, in a digital planner, however you want to do that, but getting that there and basically working backwards to understand what needs to happen to get to that goal. And so I am a big nerd, and I've been watching quite a few YouTube videos. A lot of people have shared how they've been using the Power Sheets this past year, people that are getting ready for 2019. And I've decided that that is the next step that I need to take. So again, I haven't used them, but if you are to do the research and find, I think that you guys will agree that maybe it's something that you want to incorporate. But again, this isn't something to put into place to overwhelm you. It's something to put into place to make it feel more manageable and to make it feel doable and to also be sustainable, so that you have that plan that feels like it's something tangible that you're putting into place, where every day you're taking action towards specific goals. So, if it's weight loss, if it's, organizing your home, if it's, paying off debt, if it's getting a new job or taking on, getting into a new hobby, starting a business, whatever it is, there has to be a process. And so I think that Power Sheets for me is going to be maybe part of that game changer for me to be even more focused in on what I need to do for 2019 to make things happen and to hold myself accountable. So those are my suggestions there. Now about planners. So I wanted to share, so this is something that I started, I don't know, like August, September, something like that. September. So this is from Moleskine. And, this is me. I decorate my stuff. But, because it's boring. It's just black. This is the only color that they have. But what I liked about it is that you get a monthly, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but you basically get, a page for each month. So you get the calendar outlook for the whole month so that you can put stuff down. And then you have, and this is July, so it's empty, but you have your week here, and then you have a blank page for notes. Now, so you have an idea of what it looks like for me. So this is kind of, a part of it. Here we go. So this right here, this backwards camera. So this is my week. So I have, just kind of like boxes of things that need to happen. I set some time limits for stuff that I'm doing. And then this is kind of like, this is stuff to do, for the week and to get done. And so, as the weeks go on, like that's what I have going on. So I really liked that because you get a good amount of space for each day to write down what needs to happen. But you also have a lot of space right here to put ideas, notes, thoughts, reminders, that type of thing of stuff. I had, for example, this was last week. So I had, my top 3 priorities. So I had stuff, more than 3, but I focused on 3 things that needed to be done. And all of those do have, they have been completed, but they haven't been marked off. So anyway, that's my disclaimer for you guys. So this is what I'm using, and I think it's working fairly well. I do wish that there was a little bit more of a component like to track goals, maybe a little bit more room for each day. But I think for what I need right now, like this is serving me pretty well. So I don't think that I'm going to necessarily change the planner. And again, this planner, it started, I think, in July. Yeah, so July of 2018, and it goes through December of 2019. So I think I'm going to keep this. It's been working pretty well. I've been using it consistently for like the past, I guess I would say like about 6 weeks, being really consistent with it. And so I feel like it's serving me well. It's keeping me on task. I have plenty of room.
Again, I wish that there was a little bit more of like a goal component to it, but that's why I'm also getting the power sheets. So I think that that will be a good combination. And again, power sheets is not really a planner. It's just more of a goal setting system to track your goals and to keep that progress over there. So it's something totally separate. You can use them, along with your planner, but Power Sheets is something much more goal focused, where your planner is actually tracking your time and what needs to be done each day. So again, this is the Moleskine, not super, fancy. I like that it's pretty small. It's smaller than an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I'm going to compare it for you, so that's kind of, a little bit smaller than that. And so it's easy for me to take with me. It fits in my purse well. Something that I started the year with was this planner. I got this on Amazon, and I like it, but it's pretty bulky. And you've got like this wiring. It's well made. It has a hard cover on it, and then you get like your year at a glance, the calendar. It does have you get all of the months. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so you get all the months, and they're tabbed really nicely. And I haven't used this in forever because I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. And so you get month at a glance, and then let's see here. So that's how it starts. And then there is a space for some goals and ideas there. And then you have kind of a recap, like what happened, or no, not so much. Never mind, just kidding. These are like your goals that you have. So personal and work, the essential goals, your biggest goal for the month. Why is it important? How, what are the essential steps? So it's good, but it just felt a little bit bulky to me. And the other piece is that it has kind of like your week snapshot. So I liked this. I like this piece, but I wish there was more room for each day. So, because you're basically just kind of, I like that it allows you to segment your time in the day. And then you have like your priority and secondary goals, but there's not a whole lot of room for notes. And I'm a huge note taker. So I think that was part of the frustration for me, that I ended up having sticky notes all over the place. And then I was missing stuff because I had stuff covered. So that's kind of why I stopped using that. But I would say it's one of the better planners that I've had. So last year I used Stephen Covey's planner system, and this is kind of an expensive thing. So it's very, very pretty. I love it. But this whole thing, I want to say, was like $150. And the bummer thing is, so it's kind of bulky. Again, you can't easily like carry it around, but it's kind of small. So like the pages inside, and these are kind of like, they're super teeny tiny, right? And so you get that time segment. The time, it goes from 7 to 9 p.m. So like, first of all, like I need it to start way earlier. And I don't necessarily need it to go until 9. So I felt like I wasn't utilizing that as much. And then you have like your prioritized daily tasks. And then there's kind of like a little note thing. But this is super small for me. And, Stephen Covey, he's really great about like goal setting as well. But I felt like it wasn't, I don't know. It just didn't work with my mind. I don't know. And I really wanted it to work with my mind. But for me, I needed much more space, and I needed it to be, so like for the goal stuff, like here's all this, personal mission statement, and, all these different reiterations of that. And I don't really need 4 different iterations of a personal mission statement, you know? So I need to know, okay, so if my goal is to rehabilitate my back with a herniated disc, you know, like that's a goal, you know, like, I don't know. I felt like that was much more like existential, you know, and like, who am I and how do I become who I want to be? And that's an important piece, but also like, let's get to the meat of the matter, you know, like if I want to lose 10 pounds, like there has to be kind of a process to that, you know, rather than let's just put these goals here and then create a mission statement. I don't know. Sorry, Stephen Covey. I know people love you, but it just wasn't for me. It was not for me at all. And I knew that pretty quickly after I got it. The other thing that I tried, this is what I got after I realized that the first one that I got from Amazon wasn't going to work. I got the Passion Planner because, again, this has the goal setting component in it. And then it has your like week. And there's a little bit more room there. And it's very, very pretty. And like you can get the covers that you want with it. And I love it. It's super beautiful. Like this is like, I think it might be like real leather. Maybe not real leather, but I mean, very close to it. I mean, it's just really, it's quality. It's made very, very well, but it's kind of big again, you know, like this is pretty much, you know, about the size of like an 8.5 by 11. You can, you know, this is reusable, so you don't have to get the cover every year. So you just buy like the inside. But you have, it gives you a breakdown on how to create goals and make it happen. You get your snapshot of your year. And sorry, and I didn't really mean for this to be a really super long video, but I feel like if you guys are going to go out and invest in a planner, and it doesn't have to be super fancy or whatever, but I want you to know some of the things that I've used and why I love them or didn't. And so for me with this, you know, I just thought it was like super beautiful. I like that there was like monthly reflection, but I wasn't doing that as much. And that's totally on me. Like, I think it's a really good thing to evaluate like your month prior, so that you know how to be progressing forward in your goals and like what worked, what didn't, you know, where did you feel like, you know, the pieces were falling. But for me, it was just like, it's kind of heavy. And I don't know. I guess that's my biggest thing. It's heavy and it's kind of bulky. So that's why I liked this, because it's super light. I mean, it's just kind of like a little notebook, really. And I'm getting what I need out of it. And then I think combining it with the power sheets, you know, we're like, I don't have to carry my power sheets around wherever I go. I do need to carry my planner just to keep me on track. But this just felt like a bit much. And kind of the same thing, I didn't feel like there was a ton of room. This, again, the scheduling went from 6 a.m. until 10:30. And like, I don't necessarily need stuff to go till 10:30. Like, I wish there was a little bit earlier, because I wake up earlier. And so like, that would be good to have that in place. And I like to have goals for each day. And so like, this is kind of like it's just for the week. And there isn't really a place, you know, you can have like today's focus, but like you can't put, you know, 3 goals, you know, 3 focuses for you. There's just not enough room. So that was kind of the bummer for me, is that I just felt like, again, I was putting Post-it notes everywhere and missing things because of the Post-it notes. So that's my thought on that. And, you know, I really like the Passion Planner. Maybe I'll go back to it, because it is so dang pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I just wish like there was a better setup for it, like, or if there was a daily, but I think if it was a daily, like it'd be huge, right? So, I don't know. I maybe need to look into that to see if there's kind of a better setup, because that's the weekly setup for that. So, but for me right now, the Moleskine, however you want to pronounce it, that is what's working for me right now. And then I'm gonna get the power sheets and combine those together. And yeah, I definitely know that the Stephen Covey planner, this beautiful, expensive thing, like this was just not for me. I wanted it to be for me, but it kind of took me back to like the 90s, where everybody had like their big portfolios, and walking around with their big calendars. And I just don't need to add bulk to what I'm carrying around. Like I feel like, my purse is heavy enough, and if I'm carrying my backpack as well with my laptop or whatever, that, I mean, this thing is probably, like, seriously, like 5 pounds. Like it feels pretty hefty. And along with the this one from Amazon, like that's pretty heavy as well. So anyway, that is what I have. Like I talked about, like there's so many options. And I know that so many people have gotten stuff from Michaels, and Michaels right now, well, they always have their coupons, but like right now, lots of sales, on the end of the year, for the planners, people are getting excited for 2019. But you guys, we are getting a head start, right? So we're starting now. We are taking steps to get things in place and get systems and processes in place so that we don't feel overwhelmed or behind. And we're basically starting off 2019 with a big head start. So let me know what you guys think. I want to know if you guys went ahead and got a new planner, what you got, why you liked it. And I hope this was helpful. I didn't want it to be super rambly, but I did want to make sure that I gave you guys just kind of a full review of some things that have worked for me. Why or why not? I might have dumped them. But anyway, that's all I have. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.